Hello, everyone. Welcome to Health Professional Radio. I'm your host for today, Tabitha Moretto. Our guest today is Naomi Barber, Senior Optometrist at Specsavers. Today, we're going to talk about the state of eye health among Australian children. Without further ado, welcome to the show, Naomi. It's so nice to have you here.
Thanks so much for having me, Tabitha.
My pleasure. So, Naomi, please tell the audience more about yourself, particularly something about your background.
Sure. So I'm a qualified optometrist working here in Australia. I've worked for Specsavers for 6 years in WA, New South Wales, and also in Victoria. And I now work at Specsavers Support Office here in Melbourne.
Fantastic. So tell us, what's going on with the state of eye health among Australian children?
We've been really interested in this for some time now, and we've performed actually some research to understand a little bit more about parents' mentality towards children's eye health, and I guess to direct what we can do to make sure that more children are getting their eyes tested and we're picking up eye conditions earlier for children. So the Specsavers research has shown that up to 1 in 4 children have an undiagnosed eye condition. And what's even more concerning is that 1 in 3 children under the age of 14 in Australia haven't actually had an eye test.
Oh, yes, that sounds very surprising indeed. So what can parents do in order to help children with these conditions?
Yeah, I guess one of the key messages we found out through the Specsavers research is that parents aren't really aware that many of these eye conditions for children present without any overt symptoms. So what the research showed was that 38% of parents had not really thought about an eye test for their children, so they just weren't prioritising it alongside GP appointments and dentist appointments and other things. We also found that 50% of parents had not taken their children for an eye test just because they didn't think anything was wrong. So I guess one of the main messages we're wanting to promote is that it's really important for children to have their eyes tested, and we recommend from the age of 3 years old, and that even if there's no major concerns with vision or they're not presenting with any symptoms, it's still really important to have this crucial check performed.
That's true. I agree with you on that, Naomi, because as parents, we often think that eye problems are associated with old age. So we think, oh, no, my kid is just 5 years old. There's no problem with her. So unfortunately, this is something that we need to educate parents on.
Absolutely, yeah, and children are often unaware that they're not seeing very well. They don't have anything to compare to, and not that great at articulating what the problem might be. So it's really important to be on the lookout for that, but to get a comprehensive eye check performed first to ensure that any problems are detected.
And speaking of eye conditions, what are the common eye conditions that children suffer from, especially Australian children?
That's a really good question. So I guess one of the most common things that we detect is the need for glasses, so whether a child is not seeing clearly up close or in the distance. And of course, that can go on to have considerable impact on how they learn, their social skills and their confidence as they move through schooling. But there are other really significant things that can go wrong with eyes, particularly for children. So muscle weaknesses that can cause one or both eyes to turn inwards or outwards. Having a weaker eye, which is not always detectable just to look at a child, but can certainly be picked up in an eye test. And then other things are problems with focusing and concentration up close, which can really affect children and their learning. These sorts of things need to be picked up before the age of 7 or 8. A child's eye grows very dramatically from infancy up until the age of about 8. So if an optometrist can check and detect these things, we have the best possible chance of managing these conditions. Most of these conditions are easily manageable with glasses or with eye exercises and with close monitoring.
Very interesting. Now, if you don't mind, Naomi, can I ask you a personal question?
Sure.
Why are you so passionate about eye health? What got you into this particular field of medicine?
Well, that's an interesting question, and actually it relates right back to kids' eye health. So as a child, I had an eye that turned inwards, and that obviously led my parents to taking me to see an optometrist. So I sat in the chair in the test room for many years, all through to adulthood, and it certainly got me interested in what optometrists do. So I can definitely vouch for the power of having your eyes tested early.
Wow, very interesting story. Thank you so much for sharing that. And now let's talk about misconceptions. Earlier, you and I were talking about how parents don't really have their kids' eyes checked instead of focusing only on GP appointments and dental health. So are there any other misconceptions about child eye health that drives you crazy and it keeps you up at night?
Yeah, something that came out in the Specsavers research was actually that 30% or just thereabouts of parents felt that their child was too young to have their eyes tested. And we really do want to dispel that myth. Optometrists are well equipped to perform eye tests for children as young as 3. We have specialised equipment and specialised techniques we can use to make sure that they're comfortable and at ease in the test room. And one example of that, I guess, is that parents are worried about if their child isn't confident with their letters, that they may not be able to read the eye chart. But we have pictures and shapes that we can use to understand better how children are seeing. So that's definitely a misconception and something that we want to make sure parents are aware. From the age of 3, your child is definitely suitable to have an eye test.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for clearing up those misconceptions.
Pleasure.
I would love to talk to you more, Naomi, but we're running out of time. But before we go, what is your main takeaway message to all of our listeners out there? What would you like to tell them?
Well, I guess as I began with, we know that 1 in 4 children have an undiagnosed eye condition. That's a substantial amount of children in Australia who have an undiagnosed condition that is either affecting them right now or could be affecting them very significantly as they grow up through school and also into adulthood. We're really, really committed to making sure that health professionals are aware of the importance of children's eyes being tested as part of their holistic well-being and healthcare. So we really recommend that children are getting in to see an optometrist as soon as possible from the age of 3.
Wonderful message. And now, for those who want to contact Specsavers, how can they do that?
The best way to book an appointment at Specsavers is to go online and you can find your local store there. The website address is www.specsavers.com.au.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Naomi, for coming on the show. It was wonderful having you.
Thank you very much, Tabitha. It was a pleasure.
And that was Naomi Barber, Senior Optometrist at Specsavers. If you like this interview, transcripts and archives are available at www.hpr.fm. We're on all social media platforms, so don't forget to follow, like, and subscribe. Show us some love by subscribing to our HPR YouTube channel. We're also available for download on SoundCloud and iTunes. I'm Tabitha Moretto, and you're listening to Health Professional Radio.